This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening and happy Friday, everyone. The snow has really ramped up in Minneapolis. They're considering it a snow emergency. Hutch joins us now with some more information on that storm and a first look at our forecast. Hutch?
Stacy, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. On this Friday night, our weather here in the plains or in the valley, very quiet, but that's not the case to the south and in the Twin Cities. Just so you know, if you're traveling in that general direction or even down towards the Sioux Falls area, a lot of snow has fallen. 10 inches reported in Sioux Falls, and as you look around other places along that South Dakota-Minnesota border, we have anywhere from about 7 to 10 inches of snow reported there. But the Twin Cities, just the real big winners as this system worked its way through. Here is a quick look at some of the St. Paul area's snowfall measurements. Downtown Minneapolis, St. Paul, 8 to 10 inches of snow. But you get into the southern suburbs down there, Bloomington, up there by Mall of America, 13 inches of snow. Woodbury, 15.8, and Eagan, the big winner thus far. And folks, the radar shows that it is still indeed snowing in and around the Twin Cities, and Sioux Falls starting to see that snow really start to wind out of the region. So as we go into Saturday morning, there's still going to be a fair amount of snow added on top of these large piles. And we have unconfirmed reports in the Twin Cities that snow plows are getting stuck and they're having to be pulled out by other snow plows, and there's so many cars in the ditch the plows can't get through. So stay away from the Twin Cities for a while. They have a mess there. The snow does continue. For us, we're fairly quiet. This storm, though, does extend all the way down to the deep south where we have multiple tornado warnings. Good news for us. Our weather's pretty quiet this weekend. Now, I'll detail all of that. We'll talk about that storm we're watching for our area next week. I have an update for you in a couple of moments.
Yeah, nothing like the plows getting stuck. Thanks, Hutch.
Yes.
And if you're traveling this weekend, check your flight status. The weather in the Twin Cities area has been affecting Fargo travelers already all day today. Several flights arriving from and departing to Minneapolis out of Fargo's airport were canceled. Make sure you check your flight status on your airport's website. And if you need to change your travel plans, you can contact your airline. We have some breaking news for you tonight. After a week of threats against schools up and down the Red River Valley, the latest victim is Drayton. Parents reached out to us concerning a threat there. Drayton police tell us they have identified a potential suspect, but no one has been arrested. At this time, police do not believe that threat to be credible. They also say this threat was not made on social media. Now, this continues a surge of school shooting threats. 5 students have been arrested just this week. Valley News Team's Alex Larson breaks down for us what's going on. Alex?
Stacy, I've been digging to try to make sense of this slew of threats. In recent history here, it all started with a threat towards the Detroit Lake schools, both the high school and the elementary school. Police have said the high schools was dealt with and an arrest was made for the elementary school. Another threat was called into our whistleblower hotline a couple weeks ago. The caller did not identify a school in that threat, but police have been working to find the caller. The next week, a student was suspended for bringing a loaded handgun to Lincoln Elementary in Fargo. That was November 29th. The next day came the high-profile shooting at Oxford High School in Michigan. Since then, this week, we've seen an enormous amount of threats. On Tuesday, 2 kids were arrested for threatening violent acts against Cheney Middle School. The next day, a student was arrested in connection to a potential threat at North Border High School. Liberty Middle School in West Fargo received a threat on Wednesday night and again on Thursday morning. Both were deemed not credible, but 2 arrests were made for causing fear in the community. Another threat we heard of Wednesday night was directed towards Heritage Middle School, which we were told, again, was not credible. Last night, a social media post about school violence was made about Cheyenne High School. We know the student was identified, so we can see here, while these threats have been deemed not credible, police are taking them very seriously and arrests are being made. This comes to a total of 11 threats against schools since November. Stacy?
All right, thanks, Alex. The districts continue to tell us if you have concerns about your child's school, contact your school counselor or administrator. New for you tonight at 10, the fire chief in Mapleton, North Dakota, is accused of drunk driving. Court records indicate Kayla Cross is charged with DUI refusal dating back to a crash just before 2 a.m. on November 13th. Cross has pleaded not guilty. That charge is a Class B misdemeanor. 3 businesses have been burglarized in Castleton and no one's been arrested. The latest incident happened this morning at the Red Baron Lounge. They say someone forced their way in and cash was stolen. On November 10th, Piper Tax Service and DJ's Plumbing and Heating were also burglarized. Deputies have not determined if any of these incidents are related. A man police believe was bringing a shipment of drugs into the area for distribution is off the streets. 48-year-old Charles Fraction was arrested. Police found 75 grams of a possible cocaine fentanyl mixture, more than 4 grams of meth, and another unidentified powder with a street value of approximately $15,000. 175,000 convictions could be eligible for pardons in North Dakota. That's under a new policy regarding low-level marijuana convictions. But Attorney General Wayne Stingham says in the past 2 years, only 70 people have applied. Of those 70, more than 50 pardons have been granted so far. To qualify, the person needs to avoid unlawful behavior for 5 years. The average number of daily COVID cases is now up more than 50% in the past month, with Delta still the dominant strain. The country averaging more than 117,000 new cases each day, according to data from Johns Hopkins University. Health experts are pleading with the public to get vaccinated and boosted.
After the winter, you're either going to be vaccinated, recovering from COVID, or dead.
Meanwhile, COVID is one of several factors being blamed for the soaring inflation, along with high energy costs and supply chain chaos. November saw the highest annual inflation from the previous year since 1982. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Consumer Price Index rose by 6.8% over November of 2000. The soaring energy prices are hitting everyone right in the pocketbook. Xcel Energy officials say they aren't the ones to blame for hiking up the prices for their customers. Rather, they say it's a result of increased demand and not enough supply. The price of energy is up more than 30% since last December. Xcel officials are forecasting more changes over the winter months.
Gas bills would probably be about $160, $170 more, so about average of, say, $30 a month more this year.
North Dakota officials say help is just a click away for those who need it, with $21 million in federal money ready to help those struggling to pay their heating bills as the prices surge. You can find more information on that assistance on our Valley News Live website or your free VNL News app. Just click on this story. Meat prices also feeling the effects of inflation. They're up more than 12%, but North Dakota producers say they're not reaping the benefits. So where's that money going? Joel Crane reports.
Shelley Zish ranches in Kidder County, and in the last few years has become quite frustrated with the beef industry.
It's hard to take because, I mean, we've got improvements. There's stuff we need to do to sustain our farm and ranch and stuff, and it's just not possible because the money's not there because it's not trickling down like it's supposed to.
In the beef industry, 4 meatpacking companies own 85% of the market. That means, by and large, they control the price of cattle, what producers are paid for their cattle, and what consumers pay for their meat.
We saw consumer prices for beef just skyrocketing, while the price that producers were receiving was actually dropping. And a big part of that is because we have all our eggs in one basket, so to speak. It's really jeopardized the resilience of our supply chain and really created an unfair environment for farmers and ranchers.
That's why Farmers Union is hosting a panel at their annual conference tomorrow to discuss how to deal with monopolization.
If farmers aren't benefiting from all the money that's in the marketplace right now, consumers aren't benefiting from that, we know that it is those handful of monopolies and near monopolies in the middle that are really reaping those benefits at the expense of everyone else.
One solution to be discussed: bipartisan federal bills seeking to break up those big companies.
I know it seems like a long shot, but there is more support for this than I have seen in many, many years, and so I think there's really an opportunity right now.
Shelley agrees.
In the long run, we need to either break up the large processing plants or we need to have more regional processing.
The convention will reconvene tomorrow at 8 a.m. at the Bismarck Event Center. In Bismarck, I'm Joel Crane for your News Leader.
Now to that Supreme Court ruling today on the abortion law in Texas, the most restrictive abortion law in the country. Justices are allowing it to remain in effect while allowing abortion providers to challenge the law in court.
The debate over abortion should be in legislatures. That role should not be usurped by the courts. The court relinquishing its grip and allowing legislatures to have this debate is exactly where we need to be.
For now, that means the provider's best hope to stop the Texas law is in state courts. Last night, a Texas state judge Court judge ruled the law was unconstitutional. Others may soon follow. The trial in the shooting death of Dante Wright will pick up on Monday. Today, Minneapolis officer Michael Johnson took the stand explaining his body cam footage to the jury. Former Minnesota police officer Kim Potter is charged with first and second degree manslaughter in that case. Johnson shared what he heard during the incident.
I heard something to the effect of, "I'll tase you."
And what happened after that?
I heard the verbal command of taser, taser, taser.
And then what happened?
And then I heard a loud pop.
Prosecutors played video of the aftermath of the shooting, showing jurors images of officers pulling Wright from his car and attempting life-saving measures. The judge ended testimony early today due to the weather. Funeral services held at the National Cathedral for former Senator Bob Dole today. The Kansas native overcame serious battlefield wounds during World War II to rise to the top of the political world. He was twice named to the Republican presidential ticket and earned his place among the leaders of our country. Dole died Sunday at the age of 98. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum has extended his directive to fly flags at half-staff through tomorrow in honor of the former senator. Still ahead tonight, Medora is coming to Fargo. We'll tell you how you can catch the magical Medora Christmas show.
And in weather in our region, we have winter storm warnings for the Twin Cities right next to thunderstorm and yes, tornado warnings just south of Chicago. A significant storm working its way to the east of us. Your forecast for a quiet weekend is coming up. Join me. Weather's next.